Hello and welcome to a basic video about some basics in C++. I thought I did like a Fibonacci video before, but I decided to make a basic video for just to talk about like the things I deem to be kind of basic knowledge when you're starting, like for example I want to include IOStream. This is something that you want to include if you want to interact with the like printing and reading from the command line, for example. So since we're going to be using that, we'll use IOStream, and usually you would need to use this command for standard for the standard library console out method, and then you also have the console in and the end line methods. But instead of that, and instead of using using standard library or something, we'll be using namespace as std for the standard library. And then we'll start according to my reading up on C++, the main method should always return a integer, just for safety, so you know if your console program ran successfully or not. So you always end with a return 0. So the basic would be to, like, the first thing you always learn how to do is hello world. Most people have heard of hello world programs. We could end it here, or we could do end line. So this, then you have the G++ compiler, you have the basic CVP link, and the command /o, and then the basic or basic.exe as the result file. Compile it. It's taking a while for a short program, simple one. Hello world. This is like the absolute basic, but I'm gonna include a few more, such as you can also initiate variables, or like string variable. It has what you have seen here before. Hello world is a string. You can have a char. So I'm not sure if it's, I think it's like this. String hello. This is the type of variable, and this is then the name of the variable. You can usually start with a small letter, big letter. There are reserved key names that you can't use. For example, string and such. Int is also a key variable. It has limited space for numbers, whole numbers. So we can have an integer for, let's say, 300. Then we can have float. This is fractions. So we can have pi, so to speak. Then we have more similar. There's double, char. Char is just pi. Keep forgetting to write that in. Char, we can have a equals, then it's in single quotes. A, that's like only a one character, not a whole sentence like in a string. Why is this not getting the colorization thing? I have no clue. But you can write them out all the same. Integer, pi, and a. So if I write this out, this will go to be all together and without any spaces between. So compile it and run it, then you can see hello world 300, 3.14, pi, and a. So it doesn't matter what type the variable is, you can print it out the same way. Then you can as well, after this, you can ask for console into integer. Let's say there. Then we'll have a end line, and then we'll write out integer once again. If you compile this, run it, then we get the hello world and then change the value of integer because I didn't end the line here. What value do we want the integer to be? 99. Then it writes out 99. Nice. Oh, I can also show you another thing. If you print out the string, this is a well-known character return symbol, \n for the end of the line. So instead of end line, you can print out this string. It can also be a part of this string. So if I show you here, banana end line, but here this would end up like behind banana, but if I do like this, you'll see here banana, and then end of the line, character return. What should it be now? 87, 7. So now we have the most basic string, how to print out a message. You can put information into a variable, so you don't have to define it here. You can, another thing you can do is you can create a variable b. You have to initiate the variable, so it has to already exist. If you, let's say, cin b, let's write out something to have it a bit clearer in the console. what is B? Then we write out B and end the line. So here, if we do it like this, we forgot to end this line. Semicolon is very important. The compiler does not like leaving it out, and it doesn't know what to do. So because there was no semicolon here, it didn't read this as the initialization. So we get was not declared in the scope, and he expected the semicolon before the int. So, because this white space, everything, it doesn't matter how many spaces there are. I could write it like this. It will still compile and run without any 15, without any problems. It doesn't matter white space. The only thing that matters is that the white space is not where it's not supposed to be. Like this. He has no idea what a single word like a less than or a peak or what to call it, an angle next to another one with a space between means. They have to be both together, so he knows that this means it should print this out. If I don't initiate B, if I, for example, put a so-called comment that is 2 forward slashes, that you can write anything you want in this single line, and the compiler will not, he will just ignore all comments. So now he complains B is not defined. What should he do with B? So if as soon as I end this line and write something, the compiler will take it, will read on it. But if another way to comment is forward slash and the, I'm not sure what that's called, astrophy or something, then you can write whatever you want in as many lines as you want, and as you can see, the rest of the code also gets grayed out until you add the ending, which is the reverse, the astrophy first and then the forward slash. This is the comment. He doesn't mind one bit what you cin into B was not declared in the scope. I forgot to save. There. Run again. What should the integer value be? Let's say 1. What is B? Should we say it's a yes? Because it's an integer, it doesn't know what to do, it will complain. Yeah, it says 0 because he can't put yes into an integer. That's a string. Another thing you might want to know is that if we change B into a bool, short for boolean, which is something that's either true or false, is B true. So if we compile this and run it, change the integer to 5, is B true? True? No, it doesn't. The integer, the compiler console thing does not, it only takes in 1 and 0, as 1 is true, 0 is false. So is B true? 1, then it's true, and it returns 1. I can't write true because it, I think it casts this as a string, so it's like wait a second, this isn't a boolean, this is string, so false. Same as with the integer when we wrote yes. It's like, this is a string, what should I do with this? I'm waiting for an integer. False. Or a default 0. Don't think this applies as false in this case. So now we have some basic commands. Let's end it here, and I can have a follow-up if anyone's interested. Thank you, and keep on learning.